Hello, everybody. This is Miss Randa. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to a new session. But first, let's recap quickly what we took the last session. Let's take a minute to think about what the things that you regret when you were younger. So, we have two pictures here. About the first one, you only regret the things you don't do. I totally agree with that. I hope you think about it for a minute and then let's start together. Okay, we have here, we talked about, let's make a quick recap about the grammar, and we talked about different things like if conditional or if third conditional. We have it like past perfect plus would have or could have plus the past participle, and we also have another way of saying we have another way of saying regret like should have or shouldn't have plus the past participle. Let's take a quick example. I should have been less rebellious when I was younger. Or if I want to make something with if conditional, we can say if I hadn't been so irresponsible, I could have gotten better grades. Move on.
Page 76, Exercise 10, Pronunciation. Reduction of have and been. Part A. Listen and practice. Notice how have and been are reduced in these sentences.
I should have been less selfish when I was younger.
If I'd been more ambitious, I could have gotten a promotion.
Okay, let's try to see how did they say should have. So let's try to repeat it again. I should have been less selfish when I was younger. If I'd been more ambitious, I could have gotten a promotion. So we have here they are connected together. We call it in English reduced speech because I don't stress every word in the sentence. So I need to just quickly move on or only focus on the important words which are the most important in a sentence. So we have here, let's try to listen and practice again and try to do these together. We have here another example. I should have been more ambitious when I was in my 20s. So I need you here to try and come back to the listening and listen again and try to put some words here of your own imagination.
Page 76, Exercise 11, Listening. Regrets. Part A. Listen to people describe their regrets. What does each person regret? 1. Alex.
I should never have stopped exercising. It's the dumbest thing I've ever done. I've been trying to lose weight for the last year and a half, and it's really difficult. I guess I was just like everyone else at my age. I thought I would be thin forever, and I ate junk food all the time. It was okay then because I was playing tennis, hockey, and soccer. Then after college, I got busy and quit playing sports. But now I'm determined to join a gym because I know I can't get healthy by just dieting. Besides, I love potato chips.
2.
Ian. If I'd had a choice, I would have learned to play the guitar when I was a kid. My parents made me study the piano, and I only studied classical music. I loved the piano, but it's not very practical. I mean, you can't take a piano with you to a party. But I love it at a party when someone brings a guitar and they can play songs and everyone sings along. I wish I could do that.
3. Jacob.
I regret something I didn't do. I regret not going to Europe with my friends when I had the chance. It was the summer after we all graduated from college. I started to look for a job right away, but my friends went backpacking in Europe for a few weeks. I should have gone because I didn't get a job right away anyway, and my friends had an unforgettable time together. I regret it because they all had this amazing experience without me, and looking back, I could have and should have gone.
Okay, as we listened here, so we have, I'm gonna give you a minute to start writing the answers. Alright, so we have the first one is Alex. He regrets stopped to exercising because he started gaining a lot of weight, and he regretted stopping to exercise. And Yun, the second one, she wanted to play the guitar and she regrets not learning how to play the guitar. Instead, she played the piano. And we have Jacob here not traveling to Europe with his friends after he graduated. So I'm gonna give you another time to listen again, and then you get to do the second part. Why does he or she regret that? Okay, guys, after the listening, you can come back to it and listen again to answer this question, but I'm not gonna answer it for you, so you have some time to answer it alone. Let's move on. Okay, we have the second part is writing. So here we are writing a letter of apology. So before we start write, let's try to take a minute to think about something you regret doing to someone and you want to apologize for him, and let's try to think of a way of apologizing. Should I write a letter for him or should I send him a text? So there are different ways of apologizing, but today we're gonna talk about a letter. So how can I write a letter of apology to someone? So I need to put some uh, steps on to organize my writing. So but before we start writing, let's take a look at this comic here. So we have here a person talking to his dog. I bet you're regretting eating that muffin now. And let's say that we have here the dog is really, he's turning green, so this means that there is something wrong with him because he ate that muffin. So let's move on. If you had that minute to think about what you want to apologize for, or if someone you hurt want to apologize for. So in order to order our writing, we need to do some steps before we write. So the first thing is, before we write, we have to answer these questions in order to write in an organized way. So we have different questions here. The first question, what did you do? The second question, what were the consequences? The consequences here, that the action that you did has consequences. So when I mean here with consequences, that the bad things that happened to that person or affected that person, either that person or affected you in somehow, but it's usually affected the person. So, and the third question, what should you have done differently and why didn't you do that? So here you're going to say, if I'm going to apologize for something, I need to say to that person that I should have done that, but I didn't do it because I was busy or because I didn't have the time. So you're gonna try to explain why you shouldn't have done, why you didn't do that. And the fourth question we have here, is there any way you can undo those consequences? So we talked about the consequences, the bad effects that happened to your friend. So you need to try in a way to let this person forgive you. So you need to give him like a way or a simple way to show that you understand or you appreciate his effort or appreciate what he did for you, but you didn't reply for that, or you didn't reply in a good way. So let's move on and see how can I write. So we have here a picture of a person, and let's try to take a minute and take a look at the picture. What do you think is the problem here? So I have, he's in the kitchen and he's cooking, and he's probably making a lot of cookies. So what do you think is happening here? So maybe we have like his friend told him to pick some cookies for him. He made a lot of cookies, and the problem is the party that he was going to make the cookies for was cancelled. So his friend didn't call him in order to tell him that the party was cancelled. So this person was stuck making a lot of cookies and with no people to eat. So how can this person feel now that he made a lot of effort for someone and he didn't get any payback? So we have here read a letter writing an apology for this person. Let's try to think together, how can I write an apology to that person according to the criteria we talked about the questions. So let's try to take a look very quickly at the letter of apology. Then we're gonna take it part by part. Okay, now let's try to analyze this letter and how did I answer all the questions in this letter. So we have, the first question was, what did you do? So you're going to talk about the problem, or you're going to talk about the things that made that person angry with you. So the first thing he said here, I'm really sorry, I forgot to tell you that my party was cancelled. So the problem here, not telling his friend that the party was cancelled. So this is the thing that he did. We acknowledged it at the first. So here we are answering the questions. The second question was, what were the consequences? So the consequences here, what happened for that person that it was bad for him? That was the consequences of me not telling him that the party was cancelled. So here he said, you worked so hard making all the cookies. This is the consequences. So he made a lot of effort making all of these cookies without knowing that the party was cancelled. So the third part, or the third question, is there any way, what should you have been doing, or what should you have done differently, and why you didn't do it? So we have here this part. I should have called or sent you a text before you started baking them, but I got really busy at work and didn't get around to it. So here I should have called or sent you a text. This is the part that I should have done, but I didn't do. So that's the part that I regret doing that to you. And the reason why I didn't call you or I didn't send a text. So we have here answering the questions why you didn't do that. I got really busy at work and didn't get around to do it. So we have the fourth question, is there any way you can undo those consequences? So if there is any way you're going to replace that anger with forgiveness, what are you going to give that friend that is going to make him feel better? So we have here this part, if I had been more conscientious, I could have set a reminder on my phone. And now, so here we are saying this is the way that again, another apology or another way of regret. And this part here, starting from here until the end, this is how you're going to give him a solution to that problem, or you're going to help him, or at least appreciate his effort. So here we're going to say, I understand how upset you must be now. Therefore, I'm prepared to come and give you a hand in distributing the cookies to the people who were coming to the party. So here, this part, I give him a solution, or I try to make up for my mistake. This is the part that you're trying to undo these consequences. So at the end, you're going to tell him something just like a simple, polite way to saying that if you can forgive me, or if for anything else I can do, that it will make you feel better. So I have here, I hope you forgive me and let me know if there is anything else I can do to appreciate your effort. And this is a good way of ending a letter of apology, that you're going to acknowledge the feelings of that person and tell him if there is another way, or if I did all what I did was acceptable to you, or there is something else I need to do. And at the end, you're going to write your name, your friend, and you're going to type your name. So I need all of you now to do this piece of writing about something you or someone you want to apologize for. So I'm gonna check that with you for the next session. I hope you do it, and thank you very much for today, and see you the next session.